That's Ralph Iden, who's a new face here at the ETC, and Tom Ilsbrooks in the other yellow BMW of Team FlatOut Racing. And I guess I already mentioned the GMT-DH Racing team. That's Jack Keithley and Panu Ronkainen in the Marcos. And another Marcos fielded by Blue Flag Racing. That's Chris Leeton from Belgium for Blue Flag Racing in the Marcos. We're all set. Jose Estrada, as usual, has put everything up perfectly. The broadcast, it seems, is working smoothly this time, and we still have, I would say, about 2 minutes before the start. Jose, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, and well, I have to tell you that now the people in PSR TV join us. So can you make a short introduction about the track?
Yeah, sure, Jose. Today, as I said, we're at Hockenheim Ring, which was the choice of Precision Motorsports, a team that unfortunately has more or less dropped out of the tournament due to lack of drivers at this point. However, they chose a German track because they're a German team, and since I'm from Germany too, this is the only track I ever visited in real life. So watching these virtual cars here on the virtual Hockenheim certainly gives me a special thrill, especially as I go through the Südkurve, because that's where I sat 2 years ago at the final of the DTM, the German Touring Masters Championship. It's a track in the south of Germany. It's situated right next to one of the Autobahn. Actually, when you go on the Autobahn, you just pass it. You pass the grandstand. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the track a bit later on in the race as the race goes on. So, Jose, how many minutes do we have before we start the race?
I think we have only like 1 minute or so to the end of the warm-up. So maybe we should go to the track.
Okay, let's move to the track then and show a little bit of the warm-up to our viewers, should we, Jose? Right, we're on the grid now, and let's see how the grid fills up as the drivers join the track. And pole sitter is none other than Panu Ronkainen, and there we have him in the front position here on the pole, and it's Jack Keithley, the second GMT-DH racer, right next behind him. And let me give you a quick rundown of the people on the grid here. It's Jack Keithley in 2, and Andreas Leffler in Degan Racing in 3, Tom Aylesbrooks in the FlatOut BMW in 4. Joey Vinari in the Corvette Road Pipes Maniacs in 5. Ralph Iden, second FlatOut racer, new face for us here in 6. David Garcia, my co-commentator in the Spiker for the Wreck Rebels in 7. Kevin Usher, second Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 8. Simon Lewis, Torrent Racing, new racer here for us in position 9. A good start for Simon. Alessandro Mura, Black Rebels in 10. But right now I think the grid is filling up, so let's move back to the front line. Okay, we're about to start the race. I can hear the engines now roaring up. And there they go. Brilliant start by Panu Ronkainen. And he leads the field into the first curve. And his teammate Jack Heathley follows him closely, already under pressure from Andreas Leffer, who is a wizard in the first 1 or 2 laps. Let's see if he can get past one of the 2 GMT-DH racers. Panu Ronkainen now going into the infield, as I would call it. That's a very long stretch here in the Parabolica. And already the field has kind of stretched out a little. We can now see the big Mercedes grandstand there and Leffler, and I can see that I guess almost everyone had a good start. It got away well. And there's a first small attack here. The 2 teammates going into the hairpin, but Ronkainen stays in control and stays in position number 1. Oh my goodness, what were they doing? Let's move down the grid a little. Panu Ronkainen in position number 1. Followed by Jack Keithley, his teammate, in position number 2. Andreas Leffer in position number 3. They're now into the old Motodrome. That's where most of the actual spectators are on the real course. And a little gap behind Andreas Leffer, Ralph Iden of Team FlatOut Racing. So it's not Ilsbrooks, it's Iden in position number 4. Position number 5 is taken up by Joey Vinari, and he's now moving into the Südkurve and onto the start and finish straight, followed by the second FlatOut racer. And then in the background we can see a fight there between David Garcia, and it's an attack by Kevin Usher. Kevin Usher moving on the inside, and he's just passed Garcia. Garcia fighting back, but no, Kevin Usher stays in front. So Garcia down to 8. Garcia down to 8 with Kevin Usher moving up to 7. And Garcia followed closely by the second Black Rebels racer, that's Vice here in position number 9. And he's now moving out onto the Parabolica, and there's a bit of a gap behind these 2. Let's have a quick rundown of the back of the field before we go back to see what happens at the front. Vice, as I said, in position number 9. Position number 10, Nick Rowland, the first of the Torrent racers, hot on his heels, Massimo Dalla Pellegrina in the Musler for the burning tires. And Simon Lewis, the second Torrent racer in the hairpin now. Yeah, hitting gauges nicely, coming out very low. Alessandro Mura, so we have our Torrent and burning tires double pair here. Alessandro Mura in 13. Graham Kerr, the first of the Annie racers in 14. Jerome Lecomte, first of our French friends from GG Racing in 15. Moving towards the Mercedes grandstand now, and actually moving away from the Mercedes grandstand already. Now they're on the little stretch leading into the Motodrome. Pascal Malenfant Tremblay right behind him. Looks as if he's positive to do a little attack here on his teammate, but I don't think it would be wise to risk anything at this point. We're still on lap number 2. Big gap behind Pascal Malenfant. Then we have Lucas Degan of Degan Racing. And Chris Leeton in the Blue Flag Racing Marcos in position 18, and if I'm not mistaken, that is at this point the last car on the grid. So let's go back to the guys in the front. Let's go back to position number 1.
Well, I think you forgot about Darren Gardner, that is in 19th position. Eckhart.
I'm awfully sorry for Darren Gardner. I just watched Chris Leeton. I could see no one behind him, so I'm afraid poor Darren Gardner has already dropped down just a little to Chris Leeton, but I'm sure he'll catch on. He's shown us some good races so far here on the track for the European Team Championship, so it's 90 cars on the track, and that would fit because there's 10 teams, and Blue Flag unfortunately could only field one racer tonight, Chris Leeton. We actually have a new racer, Carl Westman, and he was signed up for tonight, but it seems that one way or the other he couldn't quite make it. I'm sorry, no news here from my team forum, so I'm at this point not able to tell you why Carl actually didn't turn up. Might have been something came up in real life or just the odd computer problem. But right now we're back in the front position here. I guess Panu Ronkainen, he's still up in the front. He's moving into the motordrome again. And he's already built quite a comfortable lead in the Marcos. And his teammate, Jack Keithley, following them there. Possibly, if they're talking on TeamSpeak, they probably discussed the strategy. And it looks as if Ronkainen is the guy who's doing the first fast bit, and Keithley actually shielding him, taking the pressure from Andreas Leffler, so that Ronkainen can build a quick lead here. They did more or less the same in Anderstorp when they joined the European Team Championship there. It was also Ronkainen pulling away with Damien Danumane bringing up number 2, and those of you who follow the races, you might remember that Ronkainen then unfortunately had some PC problems and very nearly dropped out of the race and had to drop, I think, about a lap or so down and finished the race somewhere in midfield, if I remember correctly. And but let's hope that today he can maybe take this lead all the way, all the 90 minutes into the finish. Right. If I have counted correctly, we're in lap number 4 now, or lap number 3, and Ronkainen just threw the hairpin out. Jose, we've seen Andreas Leffler in the ETC, a very, very quick driver, but a bit of a hothead sometimes. What do you think? Will he start an attack on Jack Keithley in the near future, or will he hold back a little, watch what happens?
Well, I think he's a really fast driver, and he's also very, very aggressive in driving. It remembers me sometimes Montoya, because in the place you think it's impossible to pass, he tries, and sometimes he does. It's always this kind of drivers are always controversial, you know, but they are also very spectacular, I think.
Yeah, they are. They're absolutely fun to watch. And Andreas Leffler here very closely following Jack Keithley. And I think putting quite some pressure on the guy who's working as a rear guard, as a kind of block for the race leader here. And I wonder if Andreas Leffler will actually try to attack him. Look at this. They're really, really close, going down the long bit, the long parabolica bit into hairpin. And Leffler no, he's definitely not moving in. Lots of movement of the BMW under braking. And little touch there, little touch by Leffler. He touched the rear end there of Jack Keithley's Marcos, but he pulled back, didn't take advantage of the trouble that Keithley had. And yeah, that I think was just the first little hint that he gave. Keithley saying, hey, hold on, I'm right behind you, and I will definitely look for a little place to pass you sooner or later. Okay, they're both heading back to the motordrome now. Both heading back to where the grandstands are, where most of the viewers are, and where in real life, if you're in the motordrome, there's a hell of a lot of noise when the cars are coming back in after the first lap. It's like carnival, really. And as you could see just right now, Panu Ronkainen already almost out of the Südkurve before these two have even gone in on the other end. So Ronkainen slowly pulling away, and we have another couple of fighters behind. So let's move to position number 4, 5, and 6. And in 4 we have Ralph Iden for FlatOut, new face for FlatOut, and Joey Vinari of Rolling Pipes Maniacs, who has been with us, I think, from the very first race, and who's had some tremendously great races here in the European Team Championship. Following him really close, and on the heels of Joey Vinari, it's Kevin Usher. Kevin Usher, who I remember had an awful problem in the very first race when he had to drop out because of connection problems, but today everything seems to be fine, and these two, the two orange Corvettes, are putting quite some pressure on Mr. Ralph there, Ralph Iden in the FlatOut Racer. And the Corvette, for those of you who haven't played the game yet, is quite a beast. It's a very heavy kind of car, and I, for one, am not able to actually satisfyingly put it around the corner. And now we see that Joey Vinari actually lets Kevin Usher pass. Might have been another little team speak thingy going on here that Joey said, okay, Kevin, I put some pressure on Ralph. There's actually no way I can get past at this point. Why don't you give it a try? Or that Kevin, on the other hand, said, come on, Joey, I'm just a little bit faster than you. Let me try. Let me give it a try and see if I can get past the FlatOut Racer in the next 1 or 2 laps. And we can see here that Kevin Usher has already moved in closely to Ralph Iden, and I suspect he will now try to find a way past, possibly going out of the parabolic car and into the hairpin, because that really is a neat place to overtake. And Jose, did you follow that right now, the little thing there going on with the two Rolling Pipes Maniacs races? Do you think they actually talked through that, or was it just Joey having a little problem and having to move to the side? What do you think?
Well, I think the movement was too clean to be a mistake or a problem. I think Kevin maybe was, they noticed that Kevin was going a little bit faster, and then Joey decided to move, as this is a team challenge. Individual things doesn't matter. So I think they did good. It's the spirit of the tournament, and it's really okay.
Yeah, so do I. And look here, it's only a lap since we saw that maneuver, and already Kevin is really following Ralph Iden very, very closely. And if you watched his movement in the hairpin, he tried to get out of the hairpin as quickly as possible, but Ralph Iden, I think, anticipated that move and held back just a little going out, so Kevin had to draw back. Now, they're into the motordrome, they're into Zach's Kurve, and Kevin really close, and he might try something if he has a good exit speed in the Südkurve. It's very difficult to take a turn here, because it's basically 2 turns. You have to hit 2 apex-E's, and let's see if he can take out a lot of speed out of the Südkurve, going down the front line now. Heading towards, heading past start and finish already, and ooh, a little cut there by Ralph. I don't think that the marshal saw that though. I think it was just inside of what is allowed. And that gave him a little breathing space. Kevin could do nothing there. Now Kevin going very closely indeed, as they're heading towards the parabolica. Second little turn here, and you're moving out a lot here, but Kevin is drawing in pretty close. I think he's in the slipstream now at this point. Yes, he certainly is, and let's see if he tries something before the hairpin. That's a great fight here. Kevin moving up now. Kevin on the outside, but Ralph is trying to block him. Kevin trying to do something on the outside, but he has to stay behind. That was brilliant driving by Ralph Iden, and also very fair driving by Kevin Usher. Going through the parabolica, going through the hairpin, side by side. Next move by Kevin. There he goes. There he goes. And now he's on the inside. Now he's on the inside. If he can just hold on to the speed. Look at this car dancing up and down. He can't. He just slips away just a little, and Ralph drawing a very nice line there. Perfect driving by Ralph Iden, perfect defending, and gee, look at what Kevin did. He had to really hold on to his Corvette. It was all over the place, but he managed to hold on, managed to hold the line, but he had no more speed. And there he goes, Kevin. Joey Vinari moves to position 5, and Kevin Usher is down. Let's see how far he's down. Tom Ilsbrooks up in 6. Kevin Usher, there he is. Kevin Usher in position number 7. So unfortunately that move, I think he just got a little grass under his outside wheels in the brake zone, and that sent him into the gravel there, just right in front of the spectators in the Zachskurve. He's back, he's pulling the next attack, he's moving in. It's Tom Ilsbrooks in the FlatOut, and he's moving on the inside. Tom Ilsbrooks is not giving way, he's not giving way in any manner. And Kevin again has to fight to stay in control. He's now on the grass again. Oh, what a race here for Kevin Usher in the first laps. But Tom Ilsbrooks has defended well, all very clean.
Eckhard, I think we should move to position 2 because there is a great fight there.
And so we do. Here we are, position number 2, Jack Keithley. And as we suspected, he is the kind of shield that shields off race leader Panu Ronkainen. And that's perfect teamwork by the two. And Andreas Leffler apparently trying to pass him. And look at that, they're really close, fighting for podium positions here. Jack Keithley going into the motordrome now. Andreas moving in close. Lots of move and lots of action in the BMW, twisting a little bit. You know, you can see it's a bit unstable if you compare it to Jack Keithley's lines. Keithley moving out here very, very smoothly. Look at his lines, very clean lines. Now into the Südkurve. And let's see if Andreas can take some extra speed onto the start and finish straight. No, it doesn't look as if he's close enough to do anything at the back of the straight, so that actually means he has to wait for the next turn and then maybe do something at the end of the little straight we're on to now. And there comes the attack, Andreas Leffler. Now he's drawing back, I thought just for a moment he was moving out and trying to put in an attack, but he has to position himself to get into the slipstream at this point. It looks as if Jack Keithley just slipped out of it. Just got away. And look at the distance to race leader Panu. That's already a fair distance. Andreas, I think he's too far away to do anything before the hairpin in this turn. He's making himself seen. Oh no, a little bit touch there, little touch there. And Andreas moving it now very, very closely. But he can't move past. Jack Keithley stays in control. Jack Keithley stays just in front in position number 2. There was a second little touch there, but nothing unfair, I would say. All within the normal bounds of touring car racing. Just a little nod there, knocking on the door, saying, I'm following you, I'm here, I'm putting the pressure on you, and you just wait another 2 or 3 or 4 laps and I'll make my move.
Well, maybe, yeah, it's like touring car racing movements, but it's difficult to control, to really control that with GTs, because the power and the speed is much bigger. And also you have more time during the race to try to find a better situation to overtake. But yeah, Andreas isn't a really competitive driver, and he's always thinking in overtake all the time.
Yeah, he's always watching for right place. He's moving out now a little again, because slipstream doesn't really count on these short little straights there into the next curve, into the next turn. But again, Jack Keithley stays in front, and Andreas, I would say, is not in a good position in the Parabolica in this turn. No, that looks like a bit too far away, so he's not going to try anything. He's always pretty good going into the Zachskurve, so I suspect he might try something there. And he's very late on the brake, turning in, and going out of the turns, however, it's a Jack who has a little bit of an advantage. But just having said that, Andreas is now really close, and he might try something in front of the Mercedes grandstand. Again, going over the curves there, but all well within bounds of what they're allowed to do. And now they're moving into the motordrome again, and I would say that it's not this curve going into the motordrome, but that's the next one now. And it's Andreas is always coming up very, very closely to Jack, so he might just try to you know, nip in if Jack gets a little bit too much on the outside. And see how Jack pulls away here, going out of the curves, going out of the turns. Seems that the Marcos is pretty good. And ooh, that was close. Andreas was really close going into the Südkurve there. Really close. Missed him by just a few virtual inches, I would say.
And Eckhart, I can see now that there was an overtake between the two TBR cars. Wieser overtake David Garcia. I don't know if they are fighting or...
Yeah, I think we should go then. Even though this is a very close fight here, pro position 2 and 3, I think once we've seen if Andreas puts another attack in front of the hairpin, we should quickly go and check out these two Black Rebel racers, shouldn't we? And there goes Leffler. Leffler goes in on the inside. This is the attack we've been waiting for. And he's clearly on the inside now, and he's passed. What a great move for Andreas Leffler. He managed to get in the slipstream. In Parabolica, he managed to take that little bit of extra speed out of the turns just before, and that was a very, very clean move. Jack tried to turn in, but he realized where he wanted to turn in, it was all of the big yellow BMW, and nothing he could do. Just touched him a little, but none of the cars really had a problem with that, and I don't think that the Jack's suspension got anything like a big dent from that. It was just a small little touch, and now they're into the Motordrome again, and with Andreas always being very quick here in approaching the Sachskurve and then also going into the Südkurve, it should be that he can just pull away a little already before the next time they cross start and finish. So let's stick with these two here. Let's see if Andreas can actually already put a little distance between Jack's car and his, so that when they move up to the hairpin the next time, there's no way that Jack Heasley is gonna do an attack. And as I predicted, Andreas has already moved away. He's already put some distance between him and the Marcos Marcorelli of the GTR-DH racer Jack Heasley. And it looks as if Jack Heasley really doesn't have a chance to fight back at this point. What do you think, Jose?
Well, I think the rhythm of Andreas looked faster, but we have to see what happens with tires in the future, because the BMW is a car that is really hard with the tires, and also Andreas drives very aggressive, so this combination maybe can be negative for him in the future. Meanwhile, Jack is maybe is going slower now, but is very, very clean in his driving, and I think he's softer with the tires. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. I think I mentioned before that, at least to me, his lines look very, very clean indeed. Notice here, for example, going through the Sachskurve and then heading into the Südkurve. He hardly ever touches the curves, indeed, because they're also tough on the tires. And so, yeah, what do you think? Are we heading for another one-stop race, as has been the cause, or as has been common in the races we've seen so far, or do you think that some of the drivers would actually try a two-stop strategy here at Hockenheim, Jose?
I think that the problem with the two-stops strategy is that if you make a single mistake and you lose that little advantage that the less weight gives you and the better tires, the difference between the two strategies is really there is no a big difference. So you have to do a perfect race to take advantage of a two-stops race. So I think most of drivers will go for one stop.
I agree with you on that one. And as we were talking, we see that already the FlatOut racer, who is not Thomas Brooks, but if I get this correctly, it should be Ralph Iden. He is already moving in on Jack Casey, and it's Jari Vinari following Ralph Iden, the two we saw earlier. And if I'm not mistaken, let's quickly check this out.
Yeah, this is the prelude of another interesting battle on the top of the grid, I think. Both Ralph and Jari are coming faster from the back, and I think in a short amount of time we will be watching this three ballet.
Yeah, that's a nice term, a three-way ballad. And Ralph Iden now very close on the heels of Jack. Must be awful for Jack, because he just felt, okay, I've had to let Andreas pass, and I might take a little breather now, might take things a bit easy, be soft on the tires, and before he realizes what's happened, there's the next yellow BMW. It's a bit like a deja vu for him, and Ralph is a bit too far away here in the hairpin to try anything, and Ralph again has to be really mindful, really careful, because he's followed by Jari Vinari. But I think we have another minute or so before they go back to the hairpin, so let's have a quick go through the field, shouldn't we, Jose?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's go.
All right,
to
folks,
give some airtime to the other drivers.
Indeed, and also to have an overview of actually what's going on in the back of the field. So it's Ralph Iden in position number 4 here, followed by Jari Vinari in the orange Corvette, Roaring Pipes Maniacs, number 5. And then Kevin Usher, a fellow who we saw leaving the track in just the point that he's using as a break point right now, in position number 6. Position number 7, second of the FlatOut racers, Tom Ilsbrooks, who was usually a bit further up the grid. It seems that he's taking more of a controlled race today. Maybe he's saving up all his energy and his metal for the second stint. Position 8, Simon Lelouch, the first of the 2 racers in our new team, Torrent Racing. A big welcome again to them. That's great that you joined us here at the ETC. Nick Rowland, his teammate, in position 9, and I can see he's under heavy pressure of one of the Black Rebel spikers. And there's Wietse Visser. I think he's from the Netherlands. Wietse he is, and driving a Dutch car. So that might always feel a bit patriotic for him. And they show actually the logo of the GameHosters.net, who sponsor our tournament here. So big thank you to the Game Hosters for sponsoring our events. And we can see Wietse now approaching the hairpin together with the second Torrent Motorsports racer, Nick Rowland, but he is just a little far away to do anything here before turning into the hairpin. Position number 11. It's the second of the Black Rebels car, David Garcia, and he seems to be under pressure. He seems to be under pressure, and he's giving into that pressure. It's right now he's dropped a place to position number 12, and it was Alessandro Mura of the Burning Tires team, the mighty Mossler, a car that you don't really want to have in your rear view mirror. The sound is quite intimidating if they follow you closely. And Alessandro Mura now moving up to position 11. And David Garcia in 12. Pascal Malenfant Tremblay, first of our 2 GG racers in the beautiful red, white and blue patriotic design here by the French team, now going into the Motodrome. And Graham Kerr, number 14, a little bit on the outside here, going into Sachskurve. And he is racing for Amy Racing. That's mostly British and American racing team, but they also have drivers from other countries, from other regions around the globe, actually. And Jérôme Lecomte in position 15. That is the second of the GG cars, second of the beautiful BMWs. And he's on the start and straight finish now. A bit of a gap behind him. Position 16, Massimo Della Pellegrina, my favorite name in the whole tournament, I must say. I just love pronouncing that. Probably my pronunciation is dead off. I'm not good in Italian. Actually, I don't speak any Italian at all, but that name just rolls off your tongue. Massimo Della Pellegrina. And approaching the starting finish now, in position 17. Yes.
Only one information. David Garcia has made his pit stop.
Whoa, that is rather early, isn't it? We're half an hour into the race, so Garcia is definitely on a two pit stop strategy. Lucas Degan has moved into 16, but I think he's about to lose 16 at this point because he missed the break point. However, his car was a little itching and twitching, so I guess there was some lag involved. I don't think it was actually a driving mistake, but I think he had a little connection or PC issue there. Lucas Degan down to 17, which leaves us up again to 16. That's Chris Leeton of Blue Flag Racing. Another Marcos, same car as the race leaders actually. And he's moving into down the Parabolica now, followed by Lucas Degan. And back then to 17, Degan, founder and captain of Degan Racing. And in 18 we have Darren Gardner, the second of the Aney racers. And there must be the last guy in 19. Let's check. And at this point, that's Alessandro Mura. He dropped down, and it might be that he also already took a pit stop. Something that we missed. Okay, after this rundown of the field, let's move back to one of the battles. Jose, can you point our viewers to the closest battle going on at this point?
Yeah, I think we should see the battle for the 10th position.
Okay, battle for 10th, involving none other than Pascal Malenfant-Tremblay and Graham Kerr in the Aney Racing car, and Kevin Usher in 9th, so he's pretty close. He's just followed by Pascal Malenfant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I was watching the live timing, and I thought that they were closer because there were a double overtake. I think was Graham Kerr, not sure, that lose two positions at the same time, and I thought there was a fight, and maybe it was a driving mistake.
Yeah, but I'm watching Kevin Usher right now, and he is very busy, to put it mildly, getting his Corvette round the track. Might be that he has incurred some suspension damage somewhere. At least to me, it looks as if the Corvette is very, very unstable going into the turns, and Kevin has a lot of work to do just keeping it on the line. And that heading through the apex looks anything but smooth, so that might be a chance for Malenfant-Tremblay to move in and make his move on Kevin Usher. However, we all know that Kevin is a pretty young driver, but also one of the very, very fast guys out there, and highly competitive. It is very difficult to get past him. Alright folks, we move up the grid. We move up to position 4, Jari Vinari, and he's finally made his move. He's finally passed formerly 4th position, Ralph Iden, and he is now hot on the heels of a driver whom we've watched a lot, and that is none other than Jack Keithley in the GMT-DH Racing Marcos Marcorelli. And it looks as if Jari has that little bit extra speed, especially on the streets, to catch up with the Marcos and maybe also make a move on him in the not-too-distant future. Let's see how they do here. I think he's in the slipstream now. My God, that Marcos looks so tiny in front of the Corvette, and the Corvette really a threatening orange monster there. And Jerry's moving out. Jerry's making his move as we watch. Going into the hairpin, he should be passed, moving back a little, and he breaks off. Now that was some gentleman driving by Jari Vinari, and I think he realized that Jack Keithley can actually set a very, very, very late break point with that Marcos, and he was abreast. He was actually passed just a little, and that's vintage Vinari driving. Then he decided, obviously, oh, come on, it's minute 35 of the race. I still have another 60 minutes or so to go. Better not ruin the race for me. Better not ruin the race for Jack. And maybe frighten him a little the next time. But Jack, I must say, that was a brilliant maneuver, staying in control there, staying very, very, very cool. And not being flabbergasted by Jari approaching on his right side, but following his line and then moving into the hairpin, still in the lead. What do you think, Jose? Will we see another move by Jari on Jack as we approach the hairpin a little bit under 20 seconds?
Yeah, I think we will see it, but I don't know how long we will have to wait, because Jari is a precise one. He will wait for the right moment to try it. So he's very patient. He will put pressure on the muzzler and wait for the right moment to try to overtake.
Yeah. And it's not this lap, he's too far away, didn't really properly get into the slipstream, going through Parabolica, and it looks to me that in the Motodrome there's just no way Jari can get past. It's just that the Marcos Marcarelli seems to be very nimble in the Motodrome, seems to be very agile, and it really is down to the brute strength of the Corvette on the straights, and so just in front of the hairpin seems to be his best place to start an attack. But right now it's the FlatOut racer who is actually putting some pressure on Jari Vinari, and that's Ralph Iden, who Jari just passed 2 laps ago. I mean, that's the problem with passing someone and not being able to pull away, because the next competitor is smack in front of your nose. He's not gotten rid of Ralph Iden. He's kind of sandwiched now by the two, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's a really difficult situation when you are trying to overtake and you have a car very close to your back. It's difficult to take risks to overtake, because the minimal mistake can lead you to lose another position, and maybe the rhythm can be a disaster for your race. So it's quite a difficult situation, but I think Jari knows how to manage that.
Yeah, they're moving into the hairpin again. Not a second move. As you pointed out, a very careful, very precise, and infinitely patient driver, Jari Vinari. Infinitely patient racer, and so it's a bit like his favorite mode that he's in right now, right? It's the hunter, so to speak, just sitting there watching, waiting, well, actually not sitting, but following, and waiting for that mistake. But as we noticed before, Jack Keithley, he drives a very fine, a very careful line, so not many mistakes I have seen, in fact none. And right now they're up a place, I realize. And so somebody in front must have pitted. Let's check out. Let's go to the front and see which of the two racers in front has pitted. And my guess would be it was Andreas Leffler, because we said earlier on his tires probably would go a little earlier than Panu's. Let's move to the front. And yes, it's Panu Ronkainen still in front, and that means that Andreas Leffler has pitted. And that means he pitted after 40 minutes, which is not quite 50% of the race, a slightly longer stint for him in the second stint. Panu Ronkainen. Apologizing here for not giving him that much airtime. He's just so much in control of the race that all the interesting battles take place a bit further down the line. But he's through the hairpin now. He's about to overtake one of the burning tires cars. That's of course a lapping maneuver. So he's starting to lap people now, and with about half the race gone, that's a very usual and normal procedure here in our ETC, the European Team Championship. Well, Panu Ronkainen, we've established that he is the race leader still. Let's move back to position 2 and 3 and see if Jari is still putting the pressure on Jack Keithley.
Well, Eckhart, before we move, I want you to talk about what do you think about this car? I mean, the skin of this car and the sponsors and everything. I think they did brilliant work, and they also have really important sponsors in this team, really important supporters in the sim racing world.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I just love the skin. It's a very, very clean skin. And while I'm talking, Jari Vinari has actually passed Jack Keithley, who's now under heavy pressure from the second FlatOut racer, from Ralph Iden. But let's come back to that skin. Yes, we see something, a logo here on the skin that probably most of us know. It's Track IR. It's the tracking system that you attach to your head, and that lets you actually follow so that the movement of your head actually are recreated on the screen, so to speak. And they also have an edimensional.com logo on there. Another player here in the virtual world of sim racing. And I love the black, gray and white color scheme that they have. Also very impressive on their other car, in the GT Pro. And so Panu Ronkainen in position number 1 and Jack Keithley holding on to third. There's a very, very close battle with with Ralph Iden in the FlatOut racer. And even though Mr. Keithley is doing, as we said before, time and again, very clean lines, the BMW, driven by Ralph Iden, is moving in for the kill. And but it looks, though, looking at the two, that both of them have some tire problems here. With the race about halfway through, that's not surprising, especially for the BMW, which chews away happily at the tires. Yeah, it's interesting that many of the teams that we see here in the European Team Championship are really, in real life, supported by sponsors. It's something that is quite possibly new to some of our viewers, but it's not new in the world of serious sim racing, that there's also the aspect of sponsorship here. So why not draw your attention to that? And there's also serious sponsoring on the Torrent Motorsports team, but right now we're still, I guess, following Jack Keithley, and almost attack here by Ralph Iden going into the hairpin, but he had to draw back a little. I wonder when these two guys will actually come in to pit. So why don't we at this point, Jose, move down the grid again and see where Andreas Löffler has ended up after his pit stop.
Okay, let's go.
All right, it's our usual routine. We're in position 3 with Jack Keithley. Moving down one position, it's Ralph Iden of Team FlatOut Racing. First appearance in the ETC, and he's doing a heck of a job here, putting a lot of pressure on Jack. Position 5, it's his teammate. It's Tom Ilsbrooks, second FlatOut racer. Into the Sachs-Kurve right now. And then, having moved up quite heavily from last time we saw him, position 6, Pascal Malenfant-Tremblay, Team GG Racing, collecting valuable points for the team championship. I mean, they've been with us from the very first race and scoring very heavily in the first 1 and 2 races, and so they're in a good position to still fight for the team championship, and it's very important that they get both cars to the finish today. Position number 7. There he is, Andreas Leffler of Degan Racing, who came in for an early pit stop, and I wonder if he'll actually come in for a slap and dash, just maybe with 10 minutes to go in the race. We'll have to watch that carefully. Or if he can pull off a longer second stint, even with his aggressive driving style, which probably is pretty hard on the tires. However, you never know. There might have been also some problem that one of the touches that he gave to Jack might have done a little bit of, might have caused a little bit of problem with his suspension, so you never know. However, watching him now, everything seems to be smooth and running smoothly, and might just be he decided to come in early, no need to fight anymore in that, and he's now facing very little competition, so he can put in some really nice and clean laps and gain some seconds. Okay, position number 8. Graham Kerr of Amy Racing. And moving down Parabolica at this point in the green and gray car for Amy Racing. And they also show some sponsoring here on the car. It's Runcon, though I'm afraid to say I haven't done my homework, and at this point I have no idea actually what Runcon is. So maybe we'll find out during the course of the race, or maybe afterwards in an interview, or maybe for next race I have that information for you. And then down to position number 9, Simon Lelouch, another one of the sporty BMW M3 racers, and Torrent Racing. They're from North America mostly. And they show some sponsoring here of RSM. That's possibly a lapping maneuver here. I guess the guy lapped was Lucas Degan of Degan Motorsports. And on the side of the car it's United Sales and Distributors. So that's their sponsorship deal. And then the logo you can see on the roof, if I'm not mistaken, is their very own Torrent Racing team logo, which I really like. Looks like something, you know, some kind of tool, something mechanic, and it really fits very, very well. I like the styling of the car. Red and black looks nice and aggressive. Okay, another move down the grid. In position 8 now is Ralph Iden. So he apparently has made his pit stop in between. Position 9, Tom Ilsbrooks. Sorry there. Ooh, and we see the blue flag racer stranded there. And David Garcia following closely on the heels of Tom Ilsbrooks in position 10. That's the spiker for the Black Rebels racer. And I already drew your attention to their sponsorship, GameHosters.net, the guys who also sponsor the whole tournament here, giving us some space on their service. And they also have a special sponsorship deal, so to speak. If you look closely at the front of the car, at the windshield, they have a Save the Children sponsorship, which of course is not sponsorship, but is supporting the idea, because shouldn't we give some airtime to worthy causes? I guess yes, we should. All right, so the Black Rebels racer here in position 10, that's David Garcia, and then we move down the grid, position 11, Gérard Lecomte, second of the Team GG Racers, putting in one of his solid performances that we've seen time and again in this series. Kevin Usher in position 12. Apparently this Corvette has done its pit stop already, otherwise we wouldn't find him so far down the line. Position 13 at this point, Wietse Visser, the second of the Black Rebels racers. Position 14, Alessandro Mura, that's one of the Burning Tires musclers. And, just going into the sand trap a little here in front of the Südkurve, but accelerating out now nicely and onto the main stretch, hitting the curbs here and then onto the main stretch. Alessandro Mura going still on the grid, position 15, second of the Burning Tires racer. Massimo Dalla Pellegrina, and he is being eaten alive here, being lapped by the GMT-DH racer following Jari Vinari, so it's probably our couple there of Jari and Jack still slugging it out. Position 16, Lucas Degan from Belgium, also in the Motodrome now, also in the Sachskurve. And position 17, Chris Leeton of Team Blue Flag Racing. Again, somebody who's out to get some valuable points for the team, but it looks as if he's doing a rather lonely race tonight. And position 18, and we see him in the pits, and parts of the splitter in front missing. That's Darren Gardner, who has apparently dropped out of the race. So, 18 cars still on the track, and with pit stops going on at this point, the whole situation is a bit difficult to judge, but I would say, Jose, we should return directly to the race leader, shouldn't we?
Yes, and while we follow Panu in his these things are right because he's alone for all the race. Can we take a look to the standings to situate us in how the challenge is going?
Yeah, that seems like a very good idea. So I'll quickly move on to the standings and tell you a little bit about the time distances while you keep our viewers informed about what they actually see on the screen. Yeah, I'm with you in about 10 seconds, I'd say. Okay, folks, I'm with you now, and giving you a quick overview of the time differences between the racers. Panu Roncainen, and goodness me, the guy has a comfortable lead. 30 seconds, precisely 30 seconds, to Simon Malouche in the BMW of Torrent Racing. And that seems to be one guy who hasn't done his pit stop yet. Jari Vinari in third, 2 seconds behind Malouche. Ralph Iden, 2 seconds behind Jari. Tom Ilsbrooks, 5 seconds behind Ralph. Jack Keithley pitting at this moment, so he's dropping down the grid. Overtaken now by David Garcia, who is 10 seconds away from Tom Ilsbrooks. Kevin Usher, 3 seconds behind David Garcia. Then a little gap, 6 seconds down, Vice. Another little gap there, opening to Gérard Lecomte, 5 seconds down. Andreas Leffler right in front of Gérard. And Pascal Malenfant Tremblay, that's a rather big gap then, 20 seconds away from his teammate Gérard. So that means that Pascal Malenfant is 1 minute and 26 away from the race leader. Graham Kerr, 1 minute 34 away from the race leader, 8 seconds away from Pascal Malenfant. And Massimo Dalla Pellegrina is the last guy who's still in the same lap, and he's 4 seconds away from Graham Kerr. These are all the racers who are still in one lap. That's a lot of the field, and we have 3 racers, 1 lap down. That's Massimo Dalla Pellegrina, Lucas Degan, and Chris Leeton. Darren Gardner already out, I'm afraid. Lap 19 it says here on my screen, so there must have been some trouble for him in lap out. Sorry for that for Team Aney Racing, but they still have one of the cars in the race and in a much better position than, of course, being out and still being able there to do his stuff. All right. Okay, Jose. I'm back with you now. I again have the races on my screen, and what car are we following at this moment? Put me in the picture.
Well, we are following the leader, but we can move to see if there's some action back in the grid.
Yeah, this is not to say, of course, that Panu is not showing us brilliant race action here. It's just that the guy is just so much out in front, as I just pointed out, 30 seconds, that it's really his race to lose. I would, at this point already, with 34 minutes to go, I would venture the suggestion that unless something very, very strange happens, like another PC crash or a connection lost or just a small slip of his concentration, Panu Ronkainen seems set for a start and finish win. But you're right, let's move down the grid again to see if we catch up on some of the fights. Position 2, Simon Malouish, and don't quite know what to make of this. It looks as if he's still in his first stint, and we're almost an hour gone, or it might be that we just didn't watch or didn't notice Simon Malouish doing his pit stop very early on, and then this would be his second of possibly 3 stints. However, I know that he's also racing, or has been racing, in this FCAA in the long distance races, so he might just be a guy who's taking very, very, very good care of his tires. Okay, and in position number 3, behind Simon, is Jari Vinari. He is always in the thick of things, is Jari. And following Simon, if my guess is correct, and Simon is on a one-stop strategy, though an extreme one-stop strategy, putting the first stint very, very, drawing it out very long, then that would mean that Jari is actually in position number 2. But we simply don't know, folks, so we have to see how that plays itself out here in the last 30 minutes of the race. Jari Vinari, position number 3. Rolf Eidenen 4, the pit stops actually put him back a little as compared to Jari. Tom Brooks still following him in position number 5. Kevin Usher in the second Roaring Pipes Maniacs Corvette in position number 6. Andreas Leffler in 7, and he's just overtaken Wietse Visser, and Wietse comes back. Wietse comes back. They've had a little touch, so that is in fact the closest battle at this point. So let's stay with Andreas for a moment. As we pointed out many times before, there's always action where Andreas is, and Wietse is following him very closely, and Wietse Visser, that's more the type of Jari Vinari racer, more the type that takes it easy. Well, not taking it easy, of course. Being under pressure from him is quite awful, I can tell you. But waiting for his chance very, very carefully, and then making his move, plotting his move more than just moving in. And Andreas Leffler pulling away now very, very quickly from Wietse Visser. And his car is still all over the place, jumping all over the place, very shaky in the turns, but very quick guy he is, Andreas Leffler.
Yeah, Eckhart, I have some information from the TBR wall. My teammate Michael Helen told me that the first stop David Garcia made, that we said it was an early pit stop, was in fact an stop and go.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that of course can also happen, something that we unfortunately in the game setup as it is, and there's a little footnote to the developers if they are watching. It's a bit of a shame that we don't have any information on what the race marshals are doing here on the screen for all of us to see. It would have been interesting to note that there's actually a black flag out for David Garcia. Oh, poor fellow. So that's why he dropped out. Okay, and right now we see an overtaking maneuver here for Andreas Leffler, actually lapping his team boss. And I don't know what to say when you lap your team boss, hi boss, or nice to work for you, or whatever. But I think it's all in a good mood here, and Andreas Leffler passed Lucas Degan, who's probably not taking it too hard that his fast guy Andreas passes him. Okay, Jose, let's move down the grid. Let's move to position number 9 and 10, because it's our friend Jack Keithley in the Marcus Marco Rally, and he is putting an awful amount of pressure on the GG Racer, on Pascal Malenfant-Tremblay. And they are very close indeed, and really for about the first time in the whole race we see Jack in the position of the attacker. Let's see how he goes about that business. We've seen him as defender, and we've seen him defending artfully and masterfully, and right now he's trying to find a way past Pascal. Moving towards Parabolica now. Pascal still in front, but Jack is very, very, very close, and we've seen before that the Marcos actually has a very late break point as compared to the BMW. And watch this, he's moving on the inside, as I told you, very late break point. Can he put it together? Can he hold it? Little touch there by Pascal, because Jack was in his line, but nothing out of the ordinary, and he's passed. That was a perfect move by Jack, taking advantage of the late break point, actually just zooming past Pascal, and poor chap, he must have thought, my goodness, what's going on my right-hand side here? Or, well, since he's French, he probably thought, mon Dieu, qu'est-ce que c'est? And then Jack was passed, and he's already now putting a little bit of distance between him and Pascal, so let's watch him for another lap or two, and see if Pascal can actually fight back. I have the sneaking suspicion that Jack will actually pull a little distance away pretty quickly. So, Jack Keithley and Pascal Malenfant-Tremblay still fighting for position number 9 and 10. And let's see how far he has managed to pull away, how far Jack has managed to pull away as they now move down Parabolica. And that is already, I would say, about 100 meters of distance that he has put between him and Pascal Malenfant. So it seems that at this point, Pascal doesn't really have a chance to fight back, and Jack is pulling away ever so slowly, no, ever so fast. Okay, while this fight for positions has been going on, I was quickly checking out Simon Lewis, and the bloke, he's still in position number 2. So, well, let's see if he's coming in, if he's on a 2-stop strategy, and let's give him some airtime, folks. Let's move to Simon Lewis in position number 2. Simon Lewis, and he is in what is right now the closest fight of the race. Simon Lewis followed by Jari Vinari. Jari again in the position of the hunter, and again hunting a BMW M3. Though this time it's not one of the FlatOut racers or one of the Degan racers, it's one of the Torrent racers, the new team here, new kids on the block. So great to have them with us. Some of you on the screens might know them from the SCAA. They play a very positive role. And right now it's a mistake by Simon Lewis. It's a mistake, and Jari Vinari, just in front of the Mercedes-Benz grandstand, can actually pull past. And he's passed, so it might be that Simon is out there and that his tires are still the first set, and that his tires are now really giving him troubles. It looked as if under braking the car was skidding a little, the car was sliding a little, and let's watch him very closely now as he moves into the Südkurve, which is very tough on the tires, very difficult to balance that turn. That looks very clean. That looks perfect. So it might just have been a one-off moment for him. And Simon Lewis now down to number 3 from a 4th position that he held. And the Black Rebels racer you see there is a left car, so don't think that this guy is fighting for a position here. But then Ralph Iden, that's the FlatOut racer, you can see somewhere just in the background behind Simon Lewis. He's the next car fighting for position. That's position number 4. And Jari Vinari is pulling away a little already, and it looks actually as if the Black Rebels racer might be able to unlap himself from Simon Lewis, moving in on Simon now. So my guess would be that we see a pit stop by Simon Lewis in the not too distant future. And there was a little bit of a problem again for Simon in the hairpin, so I suppose his tires are pretty much gone now. And the Black Rebels racer, I'm sorry, at this point I can't tell you whether it's David Garcia or Wietse Visser. I would suppose it's David. Actually managed to unlap himself, which is something that you don't really see very often. And so there must be a big problem for Simon here. And he's now feeling the heat of the FlatOut racer of Ralph Iden following him. And I wonder if he's coming in for his pit stop now, which would then actually set the record straight and straighten out the field for us so that we know where people really are. But that's what I like about the long-distance races, that with different pit stop strategies, you actually have people popping up in places and positions where you wouldn't expect them from the race so far. And there he goes into the pit, Simon Lewis, pitting in and slowing down here. A bit of a break there before he has to pit limiter. He's probably sorting out his pit strategy at this point, trying to push all the right buttons at the right time. And lucky for him, his pit is one of the last ones, so he has ample time to do that. He's in the pits now, and it should take him about 20 to 30 seconds to do the pit stop here and then move out. And he was out on the same set of tires and for 70 minutes. That is a long, long time with the BMW. Remember that, for example, Andreas Leffler pulled in at something like 35 or 40 minutes. Okay, he's still in the pits. He's dropping down now, position 8 at this point. And he's moving out of the pits now. This is like a clean and rather short stop. I mean, he didn't have to really take on very much fuel because he only has 20 minutes to go. And he's out of the pits now and back into the race in position number 9. And that is a little up from what we saw at the start. If I remember correctly, I think we saw him in position 10 or 11, so actually the pit strategy that he made up for himself worked out. And the racer in front, he's racing for a position. That's again Pascal Malafont-Tremblay. They're racing for a position and still on cold tires. Remember, Simon Lewis just came in for tires. He still has awfully cold tires. Tremblay running a bit wide here. They're now moving into hairpin. Let's see if he can hold it with the cold tires. Yes, he can. Whoa, that was a great move there by Simon Lewis. And gaining one position, position number 9 now for him. Simon Lewis in position number 9, now lapping the blue flag racer, lapping Chris Leeton, and Tremblay following him. So that looks like a nice and clean BMW battle there for positions number 9 and 10. Alright, we're still following Simon Lewis here for Torrent Racing, and of course Torrent, like many other teams, have a beautiful, a really nice web presence, a very nice website. So I think Jose at this point, Jose, have you set up all the material? I think he wants to give you a quick rundown of some interesting sites on the internet that might be interesting to watch, might be interesting to visit, giving you some more information on the teams we are showing here on the tournament and also on friends that we have on the internet. So, Jose, do your stuff.
Well, no, I just wanted to tell that probably most of you know that we presented a new website with new features like integrated forums and the possibility to submit news from the teams. We just wanted to make a first level website for the league, and forget a little bit about the Sim Racing News Central in general, like Sim Racing Live was, because our friends and sometimes partners race department, they made a cool news central where you can submit your news and you can read about real and virtual motorsports. So we decided to abandon a little bit the idea of a Sim Racing News Central and focus on the leagues. And well, in this portal we also link all the teams that participate in our leagues. So you can from there you can visit the websites of all our teams. You presented a new one not far ago, Eckhart.
Yeah, we did. None of my work though. It was all Mikael Larsson's, who in real life is also involved in computer, in working on computers and programming computers, and he put up a really nice new website for our team, focusing on the Blue Flag Racing Team, the Gentleman Racing Team, and we've also grown a little. We now have, I guess, about 12 or 14 drivers. I'm really actually losing count, and the nice thing about our team is we're actually really growing. Two of our team members had children, or rather their wives had the children actually, but they fathered children in the last 3 months. So big congratulations here to William Young of the USA, and to his little daughter. That was just before Christmas. And then Theo de Bruyne, who should have been racing tonight, but the night rhythm of his really tiny new little daughter, who was born just after Christmas, is so unstable at this point that Theo is out of the sim racing business for the moment. So if you're watching Theo, and if you're carrying your little tot around, and if she's screaming, give her a big fat kiss from Daddy Eckhart here from Team Blue Flag Racing. Well, back to racing then, back to sim racing. What other websites can you show us, Jose? Okay. Yeah. So, after this information on the virtual world, let's move back to the race. Sorry, I propose we should move to positions number 5 and 6. That's Andreas Leffler moving up the grid again. He's just passed Kevin Usher in position 6, and Kevin valiantly tries to hang on. And what we've seen in the first half of the race, that Andreas started to was starting to have problems with his tires already after 35 or 40 minutes. He should be having these same problems right now, but he managed to just now put a little distance between him and Kevin Usher, but at least on my screen you can see Kevin Usher from time to time moving through various cars. And now Kevin Usher is off the track. He's off the track. So apparently the Corvette is showing the usual tire problems as well, especially here in the Motordrome, where it's really difficult to keep the balance of the car in the Südkurve and also in the passage leading up to the Südkurve. And we can see Andreas Löffler pitting. He's pitting again. He's in the pits now in position number 6. There he is, obviously on a 2-stop strategy, or it was a stop and go. Since he's pitting out again, I suppose this was a stop and go for Andreas Löffler. Andreas Löffler just won a position fighting Kevin Usher, and now he had to drop that very same position. He's down to position number 6 again. Oh, what a shame. And there's a burning, not a burning tire, sorry, but I get carried away here. Black Rebels Racer coming up. And that's none other than Wieser fighting for position, and Andreas is down to 7. He's totally lost his rhythm with the forced pit stop there, and Wieser taking advantage of that. He is passed in a very clean move. He is into position number 6, and let's follow Wieser. And knowing Andreas, he's going to fight back, you know, by all means, by all costs. Already he's hot on the trail. He's now moving. He's trying to move past Wieser. He's on the better side now. He's on the inside, and he accelerates just a little bit quicker. A little touch there. Wieser having to pull back, and Andreas is back in 6. But it looks as if both these cars are struggling heavily here. Their lines are anything but clean, especially in the brake zones. These cars are moving all over the place. And with about 10 minutes of the race still to go, it might be that drivers now really have some awful problems with the tires. Into Sachskurve now for Andreas Löffler. And out of the Sachskurve and back into the Südkurve here. And he almost loses it in the Südkurve. He's on the grass. He almost loses it, and that brings Wieser back in. And Südkurve is so difficult to balance with his double apexes. And as I told you earlier, I actually in real life I watched a race there, a DTM race, and there was the Porsche Carrera Cup also on, and just before the DTM race. And the guys in the Porsche Carreras, of course, they also had the rear-wheel drive Porsches, and they had a handful to do in the Südkurve. You could actually see it through the windows, how they turned the wheels frantically from side to side, trying to keep the balance of the cars, trying to take as much speed as possible. And so also in sim racing, this is a really, really difficult turn to take, the Südkurve. So if you ever visit Hockenheim, try to get a seat on the Südkurve. It's marvelous, because you can, on your right-hand side, you watch down all the way to the hairpin. If you bring your glasses with you, your field glasses, you can actually watch the battles on the hairpin. And on the left-hand side, you can see the pit. So you see most of the action of the race going on just from one position. And it's very much worth your while. It's a great course, Hockenheim, great track. They're in big financial trouble, so go and visit them. But right now, Andreas Löffler, again, heading into the Motordrome. Woo, my screen just froze for half a second. That scared the hillbillies and the Bee Gees out of me. But we're still with you, and we're still with Andreas Löffler, and he has to take some awful lines in Sachskurve, being drawn out there very much, and back into Südkurve again, and let's see if he has the same problem that he had last lap. Losing it again. No, this time his lines are much cleaner, and he's out on the little bit of green stuff that they put up on the side there, so not on the grass, but there's green stones there for you. And he's now past the start and finish in position number 6. And Wieser is in position number 7. So this is a very close battle for position here, with about, I would say, 8 or 9 minutes to go of the race. Yeah, I think it's a good idea at this point, with the race almost over, 7 minutes to go on my watch, to give you another rundown of the grid and to let all the drivers have some airtime again. So if you agree with that, Jose, maybe you could show us the race leader at this point.
Yeah, it's where we are now with Panu Ronkainen.
All right, what do you make of his show today? Wasn't it great, Jose?
Yeah, he showed supremacy, incredible supremacy. In fact, he was alone from the start line to the finish. Really impressive racing. Only I think in this European Team Challenge we had other two persons doing this. One, I think it was Kevin Asher, that made an incredible run alone all the race, and the other one was David Greco. But I really want to see a battle between them. Of course, there are.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think. But anyway, I think we have really great drivers. It's just to have the right situation to see a fight between them.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that too. Greco against Ronkainen, and that would be just perfect. But I tell you, we have, of course, and you should know better than anyone else, the next tournament already coming up. This is the penultimate race, so we have one more race at Curitiba in Brazil, in virtual Brazil, of course, none of us moving to Brazil for real. And so maybe there's a lineup there with Ronkainen against Greco. And what I also find surprising is that the virtual car he's playing here, the Marcos Marcorelli, is at least from what I hear and from what I see, not exactly the fastest car on the grid. And look what this guy is doing here. But let's move down. We only have about 5 minutes, and he's lapping another burning tires driver here. So let's see who that is, and let's move down the grid. Panu Ronkainen, position number 1. Looks like a start-to-finish win for him. Jari Vinari in position number 2. The waiting has paid off, the strategy has paid off, and it looks as if he's taking away highly valuable points for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs here for the championship series in position number 2. Position number 3, Ralph Iden, the first time we saw him today, and what a debut it was here in the European Team Challenge. Position number 3 for him for Team FlatOut. Position number 4, Tom Isbrooks, usually the fastest FlatOut guy on the track, but today his teammate is just a little bit faster. Tom Isbrooks, a very solid race by him. Brilliant performance in position number 4. Position 5, that's the second of the Corvettes, that's Kevin Asher. For the Roaring Pipes Mania, second of the Orange Monsters, and we saw he was in trouble a little bit earlier on, and it may be that something was damaged in his virtual setup there. Ever since that, whenever I checked on him, his car looked just a little bit unstable, so that might explain why we find him in position number 5. Position 6, Andreas Leffler, and we saw him do a stop and go. And so this obviously wasn't the best day for him, the most stable race for him. He seems to have recovered his rhythm though, and he's now in position number 6, bringing home, again, good points for the Degan team. Wietse Visser, following him, but make no mistake, the guy that Wietse is following at the moment is Lucas Degan, the team manager. So of course you cannot tell the cars apart at this distance, and they share the same design. So Wietse is in 7, following Andreas, but the guy he's following right now is Lucas Degan. And then Jack Keithley, we saw a lot of his race, but he's dropped down to 8 from position number 2, so I don't think he'll be very happy, and it might be that he also had to come in for a stop and go. Simon Lewis, down to 9, we saw him in position number 2, following a very interesting strategy there, staying on the same set of tires for something like 70 minutes, unless we missed his first pit stop, but I don't think so. I think he actually decided to stay out for a very, very long time. New team here in the ETC, and they put the color red on the grid, and it's good to have them with us. Brilliant race here by Simon. Pascal Malenfant-Tremblay for Team GG Racing, valuable points for them, position number 10. And Graham Kerr for Amy Racing in position number 11. Solid race by him, bringing him good points for Amy Racing. Good performance there by Graham Kerr. Position number 12, David Garcia, when we heard earlier on that he had some problems, that he had to do a stop and go for the Black Rebels races, so that's why his Dutch Spiker is a bit down the grid. Position number 13, Jérôme Lecomte, the second of the GG racers. Position number 14, Massimo Dalla Pellegrina in the Musler, and as far as I can see, he's all over the place. Probably the tires giving away awfully here in the last few laps for the Musler. I can imagine that. Position 15, it's another, and there he goes. Nice little slide here into Südkurve. Alessandro Mura. Probably not the way he wanted to take that turn, but that's the way it is in the last few minutes for the Muslers sometimes. Position 16, Chris Leeton. Poor chap, must have been a rather lonely race for him back there, but he moved up a little due to dropouts and other people having problems, so he should be quite satisfied at the end of the race. Position 7, Lucas Degan, and it looks as if he's going rather slowly, and his car looks just a little smashed in the front, but just a little, so maybe he's in trouble a bit here. Look at that looks very slow. But 17, and still racing, which is brilliant, of course. And then he is the last driver still in the race and still on the grid. So let's move back to Panu Ronkainen so we catch the moment when the race winner actually passes the start and finish line. But hang on a moment, there's still a big battle going on. Position 8 and 9. Simon Maluish following Jack Keithley, battling for position with, on my watch, only one lap to go. And we just saw the guy holding the flag there, little virtual guy, and it wasn't the black and white flag, it wasn't the checkered flag, so they're still battling it out for at least another lap. Jack Keithley in position 8, Simon Maluish in position 9. Will he make a move? Will he still have the power? Will he still have the tires to make a move? But remember, he came in very late, so his tires should be amongst the freshest on the whole circuit here. Well, if Simon still wants to make a move, he should better prepare it now, but I can imagine that Jack Keithley, who's looked very much in control of his race whenever we saw him, is not taking any chances here in the last 1 or 2 laps, is showing us some of his perfect clean lines again. Simon coming closer here in front of the Mercedes grandstand. They're now back on what used to be the old track of Hockenheim before the new track was established in 2002. And they're into the Motordrome now. They're both on the grass. Into the Sachskurve, and this is where Simon gets very, very, very close. Let's see if he can take a lot of speed out of Südkurve. Jack pulling away a little. Simon staying a bit on the outside, now on the inside. They're moving up the start and finish now, and they are very close. They are very, very close. Still no checkered flag here. Simon showing himself, showing Jack, listen, I'm here, and the worst thing that Jack can actually do is cutting too much in that corner we just saw, because that will give him a stop and go. So let's hope the marshals didn't see that maneuver right now. And now comes the part where Jack usually pulls away just a little. It's let's see if Simon can hang on. They go down Parabolica, they're moving into the hairpin, approaching the hairpin. And the defensive maneuver here by Jack, blocking Simon, but it's all very sportsman behavior here. Simon not taking any chances, not doing any risky maneuvers there. After all, they've done 90 minutes. Why should he spoil it now in the very last few minutes? Now again, he's moving in close, taking a slightly different line there. I think he's trying to set up a move just as they move into the motorhome. Watch it, folks, watch it. He's out of the slipstream. No, he's not. He's still holding back. Now Sachskurve. Sachskurve is where he is always very, very, very close. Simon Maluish following Jack Keithley. Ooh, that was close, that was close. Simon to draw back. That might have cost him the seconds. I don't think he can set up another move going into Sachskurve. There he is, on the curbs. Jack, a very nice line of Jack through the Südkurve. Very nice line again. Very close racing now, and there is the checkered flag for them. And with the point system we have in the European Team Challenge, that was a close battle, but they both gained quite a lot of points for their very good races. So, let's see how the final results were. Let's see how the final standings were. Let's have a rundown. And there we are, in position number 1. A start-finish
the two Moslers have big problems. The two TBT. Oh, Massimo della Pellegrina crash.
Oh my goodness, and that seems to be on the last lap for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems that.
Okay, things are happening fast here. Panu Ronkainen has crossed the finish line, and he is the start-finish race winner of this race here at Hockenheim, the penultimate installment of the European Team Challenge. Congratulations to Panu. Second place, Jari Vinari, 43 seconds down. 3 seconds away from him, Ralph Iden in position number 3. Position number 4 for Tom Ilsbrooks in the second FlatOut racing car. Andreas Leffler in position number 6. Kevin Usher in 7. Wietse Wiesler in position 8. Jack Keithley, we saw that, in position number 9, and Simon Maluish in 10. Sorry, I got it mixed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, of course, Jack Keithley. 8, Simon Maluish. And 9, Pascal Malenfant Tremblay. 10, Graham Kerr for Amy Racing. 11, David Garcia for the Black Rebels. 12, Jérôme Lecomte for Team GG. And 13, Alessandro Mura for the Burning Tires. 14, Massimo Dalla Pellegrina for the Burning Tires again. 15, Chris Leeton and Lucas Degan, and 16 is congratulations to all those of you who made it. Well, third position, it was Ralph Iden of the FlatOut Racing Team. So, another race has finished here for the European Team Challenge. Let's see if we can get maybe the race leader, maybe the winner of the race, and maybe his second and third position too. Maybe we can bring them in for a short interview here on PSR TV. Thank you so far for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed the race the same way that Jose and I did. We saw some great racing, some tough battles there. Not much happening up front, I must say, but that is always a good sign for the race leader, Panu Ronkainen. A very, very strong race by him. So let's see if we can get any of the drivers here into the broadcasting room to give us their view of the race. All right, Jose just told me that he's actually moving the people into the broadcast room, so I can give you a first impression here, first-hand impression of the race with the race drivers. Panu Ronkainen, are you already with me?
Yep, I'm here.
Brilliant. Panu, congratulations. That was a superb show. Can you give us a view of the race from your position? Brilliant race by you.
Yeah, for once, the race went without any problems. Qualification, we got our team, me and my teammate, got pole and second place, so couldn't have started any better. And then from the start, I just managed to break out a little gap, and that seemed to do it.
Right. Any problems with DeMarcos, or did everything just work fine? Did the pit strategy work the way you wanted it to?
No problems. Everything went pretty much according to plan. I had a little bit of understeer that I didn't like, but other than that, no problems with the tires or anything. And
okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Panu, for being with us. Congratulations again for this great race. And Jose and I have already discussed this. I think we should set up a race one of these days in the league between you and David Greco. We're actually really looking forward to that. That's going to be a real battle.
yep, thanks.
All right, Panu seems to have left us, and let's see if second position, Jari Vinari is with us now. Jari, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Eckhard.
Brilliant. How about your race? How about the Corvette? How was it doing all the time? Any battles that you really enjoyed? And what about your strategy? Did it work out?
Yeah, it was great race for me. I was just keeping steady at the beginning of the race, just saving my tires and let the guys in front of me fight out their position, and their tires were very bad, so I was just waiting for the right moment to pass them, and that worked very well.
Yeah, it did. It did. We watched some of your waiting maneuvers, right? Like saying, oh, will he pass now? Will he pass now? And you always pulled back. I especially remember one moment in front of the hairpin fighting Jack Keithley when you were just right next to him, actually a bit in front, and then pulled back again. So you were playing it safe.
Yeah, very safe. I was thinking about the team points, and it's a team event, so I didn't want to risk any stupid move if the guy front of me or back of me didn't see me, so there's always a danger that accident could happen.
Oh, yeah, very considerate there. And we also watched you giving way to Kevin Usher pretty early on in the race, and Kevin then really attacking Jack very much. Was that a pre-planned move? Did you speak on TeamSpeak or anything?
No, nothing. I was just thinking about saving my tire. That was my strategy. And I know Kevin would be faster than me, so I let him pass. But unfortunately, he did spin or something like that.
Yeah, we watched it. It was in Zach's curve. He was actually not really attacking Jack, but trying to get to the side. And as far as I could see it, the tires got on the grass, and then he had to take a little detour through the sand trap, and that put him back, I think, 2 or 3 positions. But he came back. And I think he had quite a good race from that on.
Yeah.
Okay, Jari, thank you very much. Second position.
Yeah, thanks, Eckhard. Yeah, it's a great race. Thanks.
Okay, let's see if third position racer is in, and if I'm not mistaken, that was Ralph Iden for FlatOut Racing. Ralph, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Eckhard.
Oh, brilliant. First race for you in the league. How did it go?
First of all, I've got to say thank you to Jari Vinari. He was very kind and very fair, so That's my first sentence. And for the race, I must say I was lucky all over the place. Everybody acting fair and nice and mature. And I also am a bit excited and surprised that that I finish a podium. So nothing important or certain happened to my race during the race. Everything worked out fine, and just I was lucky.
Brilliant. Yeah, we watched a lot of you on the screen actually, and you seem pretty much in control. The BMW, we said, is pretty tough on the tires. Did you have any problems with that before your pit?
Okay, the whole tire wear loses a bit, but I'm always fine on this tire worn thing, I must say. I'm maybe always a bit below my limit or the limit of the car. So my main focus is Excuse me, go on.
Which is, of course, in a 90 minutes race, the main focus probably is just, to get through safely, isn't it?
Yes, tire saving.
Save the tires by all means. Well, great for being here, Ralph Iden. I hope we see you more often here in the championship and also in the follow-up championship. And you're in a very competitive team, FlatOut Racing, aren't you?
Yes, and I'm thankful for them to have me let me race there. Nice. I'm very excited. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. All right, let's see who else is with me in the broadcast room now, because I haven't got, I'm still in the game, so I can't put up the screen, so I don't know actually who is with you. Just say hi and hello to let me know who you are. Ha! I'm all alone. Well, there we go. Jose probably still is with me, and you, the viewers, are still with me. And I hope you will be with me again for the last race, last installment of the series, which will be at Curitiba, and we'll be watching the GT Pro again. The bigger, the faster, the nastier cars. And that's going to be another exciting race, I guess. And also the GT Pro will be racing this Sunday, and you can actually follow it on the live timing. We don't have a broadcast, so no moving pictures for you, but if you're on the PC, if you're on the net Sunday morning, don't forget, it's 10 o'clock CET, if I'm not mistaken, the start, and it's a very accurate system, so you can really follow the race while you may be going through your mails or doing something else in the background, and that'll keep you up to date. Jose, I think that is the end of the broadcast, isn't it?
Nothing much to say. Thanks to everybody, to teams and drivers for being here, and hope to have a good race also in Curitiba.
Okay, thanks to you then, Jose, for putting this thing up, for bringing us the marvelous pictures that we've seen. Yeah, thanks also from me to all the teams, to all the drivers, for showing some very good competition here at the virtual Hockenheim, and see you all at Curitiba. This is Eckhard von Glan for the Team Challenge, for the European Team Challenge, ETC, wishing you all the best and a nice Friday evening. Bye-bye.